So, yeah, I just love that. So what is your name?
Well, my name is Marcos.
Marcos?
I'm from Venezuela, yeah.
Oh.
Rafael. And, well, I'm here to understand your webpage. I really love your webpage. It's a very beautiful idea because you can see how the place it is, how you describe your travel, and it's a very nice job because I really love my travels. I've been the last year on a couple of countries in Europe, and it's a very good idea because you can see if you're looking for some information about the place, you can check on your webpage and you've always been updated, and that's a very good idea. And we have some ideas to prepare some webpage also with ideas here from Chicago.
Okay.
And
do you use social media? Are you on Twitter?
Oh yeah, well we'll use it now. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook also as well. And yeah, and I had my last project. It was something like more focused on the young people, because it was not focused on video games and movies and that stuff.
Okay.
But now we're Center for Chicago, and it's a very good idea.
Do you have any questions about Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest?
Can you tell us an example, Mom, a particular example that how do you use the social media to do something? Like you were doing something, and then it occurs to you that you go see what's going on, and this is how a particular example.
This past spring, my family and I went to Europe. We went to Berlin, Vienna, and Prague. So I found the city's tourist boards on Twitter, and I tweeted them and said, I'm going to be in your city. These are the dates. Anything special going on? What are the must-see attractions? I'm going to have my 5-year-old daughter with me. What would be great for her to see and do? I have 2 kids. One's 5. My daughter's 5, and my son is 1. And the whole reason I started my travel blog, The Working Mom's Travels, was when I was pregnant with my daughter. I've always been a traveler, so when I was pregnant with my daughter, so many people I didn't even know very well, said to me, "Oh, well, your traveling days are over. You're having kids now." And I said, "No." So I started the blog, like, and I'm going to prove it. So I work full-time outside of the home, and I travel and I blog about it. And I'm just trying to show that it is possible to have a career, a family, and still travel, have meaningful travel. And travel is not, we don't have to go to far-off places to do it either. Being in a great city like Chicago, we can travel to however many different countries in a weekend, with all of our different ethnic neighborhoods. But getting back to your question, yes, I had my 5-year-old daughter went with my husband and me. So, what should we do in your city? And then 2 of the tourist boards, said, email us and we'll send you a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I did. So I had a good base of information before leaving on our trip, and it was very, very helpful.
Okay. And,
like I mentioned before, I use a lot of Instagram just to get inspiration of where to travel and what to see. So if I type a hashtag referencing again Chicago, hashtag Chicago, then I get to see everything that's happening around the city of Chicago. I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for best places to have brunch. So I put hashtag brunch Chicago, and it'll pop up a couple of places and photos that people have gone to. And, most folks write on their Instagram with a photo their description of like whether or not they had a good time at that restaurant, they enjoyed the meal, what they recommend. And at the same time too, when you are uploading a photo on Instagram, you can put a location, so then you can see exactly where the location is. So they don't need to necessarily have to write in a description. You can see on top of the photo where exactly that photo was taken.
One question. Okay, so we have 3 social media. If we compare Twitter and Instagram, we can use the hashtag perfectly because it works with hashtag. But in the case of Facebook, what would be the strategy for
So Facebook changed their algorithm where now you can use hashtags to search. It's still, I feel there's some hiccups here and there.
I don't use it so much.
Yeah, that's right, because you don't use it, never.
Yeah.
But Anna said earlier,
You really have to use stuff that's going to get liked, because anytime something gets liked, then it shows other people's news feed. So the more participation you get from your Facebook group, the more eyes will see it. But that's something you kind of got to figure out on your own, because it's you don't know what you're like. For me, like I don't know, it's kind of silly, but like when I show pictures of myself in a fanny pack making fun of myself, I get a lot of people liking it and joking about it. So it's like those pictures will get more likes than anything. So,
Where's your fanny pack? You didn't see that today.
I was thinking about working it just to bring it out.
Denise and Ted.
Yes.
Things that you should not do on social media. Things
that you should not do
something
on
that you
social
did,
media.
and I was like, oops, I did, or something that you saw that somebody else did.
Don't do too much. Don't post with too much of that. That's not.
Don't go like drinking and just getting way.
Oh.
especially if you want to run for office at some point.
Yeah.
Photos.
Yeah, I would definitely not that. I'm thinking things you shouldn't do. Well, on Twitter, you have to be careful of what you say because it's like a sound bite. So you may be having a conversation with someone, like several tweets back and forth. We may be talking to each other, and somebody may pick, it's a public conversation, and other people can listen, they can watch it, but they may take that one phrase and take it out of context and start sharing it like, oh, they just disrespected or talked about this company and just take it out of context. So you have to be careful. Yes. So that's, I guess, the downside, because in order to find the full conversation, you have to do a story find. You have to collect all the tweets with the photos and the videos and package them in order for people to understand the full conversation. Because 140 characters, well, it's less than 140 because you have to leave 15 characters for it to be shared. So, and then you have your handle. So it's what, 100 characters or less probably? Yeah, so that's not a lot to say something, and so you don't want it to be misconstrued in that sense. So yeah, you have to be careful.
I think also you want to share stuff. You don't want it to all be about you.
Yeah.
It's some things you look at people's feed. It's just everything is a link from there. So it's nice when you share, do a little bit of sharing of other people's stuff and passing interesting information along that's not generated by you.
So it's a selfie there. Abs, and it's like gym, it's like my hair, it's like, I see that very often.
Yeah.
And I think, about social media is there is an audience for everything. So someone who is posting all those photos of, their abs and their crazy hairdos, there is an audience for it. And that is the wonderful thing, I think, especially Twitter and even probably Instagram, Pinterest, is you can really search out those specialty interests, I guess, and really pay attention to them that way. So you'd be surprised. There is an audience for just about everything.
How do you unblock? How do you unblock?
Unplug?
Unplug. So you're like your family, and then you're like.
You get stuck in a Category 4 hurricane, and you automatically unplug.
You have no choice.
There you go.
We go to Canada for a week. Don't have a data plan.
Yeah.
Jones in for Wi-Fi.
Right now, I have the challenge. It's like.
I have that challenge
with
too.
my daughter and my wife. So how do you disconnect to connect?
Yeah, that's a challenge. I do the same thing. If I try to leave the phone at least in the other room when I'm having dinner, so at least I can make some eye contact. If I bring it take it to the dinner table, then I'm looking at the phone. So just leave, put it in a drawer for a little while, and just leave it. You have to leave it sometimes.
we have a rule in our house, you know, with 2 kids.
Yeah.
We have a rule that there are no phones or anything at the dinner table. And when we go out and stuff, we try to do the same thing. But it does become a challenge, especially for us as travel bloggers, and I imagine you guys can agree or identify. I have to tell my family, because we have certain obligations as travel bloggers. All right, we're going to be at such and such a place, I have to tweet about it, or I have to take pictures. And, you know, my husband and my daughter especially have kind of gotten used to it, and I don't get the crazy look so much anymore. But with my family, it takes one look for my father, and I'm just like, key, there goes the phone, I'm done.
I know. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. I guess I got into Twitter because my youngest daughter, when she was, I think, a sophomore in high school, she would text 6,000 to 10,000 times a day. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she literally, if I send her a text and she's sleeping, she doesn't even wake up, but she can text me back, Mom, I'm asleep. I mean, she's connected that way.
So
Literally.
she sleep texts?
Yes.
Oh.
She does.
I guess that's like that.
Yeah, so I mean, so I'm not addicted to that point, but yeah, so it truly is a problem, so, but,
So what do you tell the audience here attending the conference? That if I were you, I would do this and that to take advantage of the conference.
to take advantage of the
What do you
conference?
tell the audience?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
we need to wrap up.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do. So, to follow Social Media Week on Twitter, you go to the pound symbol, which is SMW, caps, and then lowercase Chicago, CHIAGO. And you click on that link, and then you read the conversations. And you will get links to articles, you'll get photos, you'll get videos, and then that is how you learn about the conference.
And probably tips from attendees.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
who are attending other sessions, you know, they can tweet out some information with that hashtag.
Okay, and let's reintroduce ourselves. This has been Social Media Week Chicago, How to Travel with
Francesca of the WorkingMomsTravels.com. You can find me on Twitter at WorkMomsTravels. It's also my Instagram handle.
Okay, and I'm Janice Temple, the Skychi Travel Guide on Twitter at Skychi_travels.
Anna Serafin, TravelingLatina.com, and Instagram and Twitter is at TravelingLatina with 1 L and traveling.
I'm Traveling Ted, Ted Nelson, website's travelingted.com, and then Traveling Ted pretty much on any spectrum of social media, except maybe MySpace.
Is that even?
I had to get a MySpace joke in there somewhere.
Good deal.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.